Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I thought I might make a clip about how to do trees and clouds and trees in the mist. So I took a little clip off this full version. I'm just putting in all the blue, just filling in the sky. Now I'm coming in with white to shape the clouds. I will be sure to list all the colors and the brushes in the description. So be sure and check that out. I'm still filling in where the highlights are hitting. Now I'm putting in that darker ultramarine blue and crimson to get that contrast into the clouds. I'm putting a little bit of yellow and orange and to bring out that highlight, and a little more crimson along the edge of that between the blue and the yellow so it doesn't turn green. If it does, you could always fill it in again. And here I'm mopping it out. I've come back in to just touch up some more of those highlights with white. I'll add a little bit of yellow in there and some more crimson, tiny bits of orange here and there. But be sure to watch that yellow with the blue. Keep that border between them with the crimson. That helps the yellow to not mix into the blues. But if you do, just let it dry and go over it again. But this is a pretty powerful, strong cloud. And I'm making really strong contrasting colors. Lots of that alizarin crimson. Then I go inside that with the ultramarine blue and crimson. A little bit of white in there, just to get that nice edge on the cloud. I'm just pushing it in more and more and more. Bring that contrast in. And come down into those soft colors of the mist. I'm just constantly retouching all that highlight to get that strength in the cloud. Just coming back and forth over it and over it again. Be sure I get all those colors in there. And just take your time. Don't stress yourself on it. Doesn't look like I'm taking my time here because this is a time lapse, of course. But I hope you're getting a good amount out of it. Now I'm coming in with just some lighter colors of blues and greens, just establishing where those trees are. And I'll go back and forth with them, bringing in stronger contrast to bring some of the trees forward and push the others back. I'm sort of mopping at the base of those trees with another mop that I will list in the description. I'm getting those stronger colors to bring those trees forward. Always mopping at the bottom and bringing in some more light, same colors of in the clouds as in the mist, and it brings up to the base of the trees. It's just kind of highlight this bird a little bit first, because that light is coming in and hitting across his back. I just love it. There'll be a lot more to do on this bird, of course. You can look at the full video, be sure and check that out. Now I'm just gonna come in and get some of those dead stumps that are sticking up out of the fog. So I always add a little bit of white with the color of ultramarine blue and crimson, and all the colors that are in the clouds are reflecting into the mist. I'm just kind of bringing the trees really lightly with the angle brush, and once I've established where they are, I go ahead and start bringing in more darker contrasting colors. Just taking my time, doing different colors that I might see reflecting from the clouds in the sky. And go back and touch up those clouds again till I'm happy with it. Just more highlight coming in on that one spot so that it really gets powerful for me. And I'll keep coming back to those trees as well. Always putting in the lighter color of the trees first so that I don't overdo them. And then I bring in the deeper, darker top on the tops of the clouds the same way I do with the trees. Kind of poof a little wind-blown cloud up there. A little more oranges and yellows and crimsons. Always coming back and touching them up. Now I'm coming back to the trees, a little bit darker here because I want this tree to stand out a little bit. And as it comes down into the fog, I kind of don't put as much paint on my brush. I always wipe off the brush and then I soften in the fog at the base of the tree because that fog is coming up underneath and it's creating a lighter color underneath the tree. So the top of the tree is popping out of the fog more, so it's going to have some darker contrasts. It's just a lot of fun to mess with these trees. Lighter colors first, always. So whatever colors you're using. And here I'm using some burnt umber and some crimson and some ultramarine blue. And a little bit of yellow creates that green with the ultramarine blue. Or you can use other greens too. Now I'm just kind of softening into the fog, just really soft. See, now I'm just kind of fluffing up that fog at the base with no paint on my brush. Always a clean, bright, dry brush when I come up underneath. Kind of fiddling around with the back coloring, all that lighter oranges and yellows that are reflecting from the behind the trees. Always think about what's coming up from behind is gonna be softer, especially as you're bringing these trees down into the fog. Darker colors here on this dead tree. I always like to add a dead tree in the forest. Makes it a little more realistic. Always have your trees different sizes. I do groupings of 3s and 2s and then ones that are set apart from each other a little bit like this to just kind of break up so it doesn't look like a bunch of trees that are purposely grown there. Just tinkering and tinkering with those branches with that angle brush it's a nice brush to use to get the details nice and flat and tight. Now I've come in here with a different shape on these trees here in the foreground. I've put a little bit of ultramarine blue and crimson and white underneath to create a little landing where that tree is growing from, and it's taken over by fog and you can't really see the detail underneath the tree. So I'm continuing here with just some little leaves, different type of tree here. And then it disappears into the fog, and so I bring in more whites and blues, ultramarine blues, and go back up here with the different greens and blues. So thanks for watching, and hit the bell so that you can hear or you can see every time I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching.